When someone insults you, belittles your work, or tries to take advantage of you, your brain sounds an immediate alarm. Your pulse spikes, your jaw tightens, and every biological instinct screams at you to snap back, justify yourself, or go straight for the throat. But giving in to that adrenaline is exactly what they want. The moment you lose your temper and engage on their terms, you hand complete control of your emotional state directly to the person trying to tear you down. Engaging in a screaming match with someone who doesn't respect you is like throwing heavy stones into a mud pit. The stones sink, and all you accomplish is covering yourself in the resulting splatter. A loud, angry retaliation might feel like you are standing up for yourself, but it actually signals a lack of control. It proves the aggressor successfully pushed your buttons and manipulated your behavior. Highly successful people view these confrontations through a different lens. Consider the approach of actor Amitabh Bachchan, who suggests that the noise of critics should be viewed as data rather than an insult. His philosophy is built on a simple observation. When people begin speaking against you, it functions as a metric for your own upward trajectory. You are making enough progress to disturb someone else's comfort zone. If criticism is merely a byproduct of your growth, then treating it as a threat only validates the critic. By viewing their outbursts as proof of your momentum, you strip the aggressor of their primary weapon, the ability to make you feel small. This makes the strategic use of silence far more effective than any verbal rebuttal. It allows you to maintain your momentum while leaving the opponent to shadowbox with a person who is no longer there. This strategy operates in 3 phases, beginning with psychological shock. Bullies and critics provoke because they crave a specific reaction. They need your defensiveness to fuel their own sense of importance. Responding with absolute silence disrupts this expectation. You create a psychological void. Without your anger to push against, the aggressor is left in an uncomfortable vacuum, which highlights their own lack of composure. You can reinforce this by maintaining a calm, subtle smile. This signals that their attempts to disrespect you failed to penetrate your focus. It shows that their words didn't have enough weight to leave a mark. Silence and composure act as a mirror. Instead of a back-and-forth argument, the aggressor is forced to sit with the reality of their own behavior, which often feels more devastating than any insult you could have yelled back. Moving beyond the initial reaction, we enter the realm of emotional economics. This requires you to treat your attention, your words, and your energy as a finite, high-value currency. Every time you overreact or exhaust yourself trying to explain your choices to a critic, you are spending that currency on a worthless investment. You are essentially paying for the privilege of being insulted. Mapping these interactions, the horizontal axis is emotional effort, the vertical is impact on the aggressor. Blocking someone in rage still requires effort. The most effective position is absolute indifference. You don't need to hide or run away. You simply assign the critic 0 value. You keep them in your periphery while granting them no influence over your internal state. This approach requires high internal standards. If you are operating with precision and high-level focus, you simply don't have the time to debate people who aren't on your path. Their opinions shouldn't even be able to reach your operational level. By budgeting your reactions strictly, you starve the opponent of the engagement they crave. You render them powerless by refusing to acknowledge that their attempt at a power struggle even happened. The final phase is the conversion of that saved emotional capital into hard momentum. You act as the sovereign of your own mind, focusing entirely on your own directives. A sovereign doesn't stop their work to address every heckler in the crowd. You cannot allow your mental fortress to be breached by someone who has no stake in your mission. Channel the energy you'd spend arguing into your work. Let that friction fuel a relentless, quiet, and highly focused execution of your goals. The ultimate goal is to build a body of work so significant that it silences critics through its sheer existence. When you reach a high level of achievement, your results do the talking, so you don't have to. Real influence isn't about winning debates. It's about making negative opinions irrelevant, because the scale of your success outpaces their ability to understand. The most difficult part of this strategy is resisting the urge for immediate vindication. Being underestimated is painful, and the desire to prove someone wrong right now is a heavy burden. But time functions as a natural filter. Rushing to deliver a verbal reply balances the scale too early, showing that you are still seeking the critic's validation. If you wait, the gap between your results and their words will widen on its own. Eventually, the reality of your compounding achievements will stand in stark contrast to the stagnation of the person who only spent their time talking. Patience acts as an amplifier. It ensures that when your success finally speaks, the evidence is so overwhelming that there is no longer any room for a counterargument. By following this framework, you stop being a reactive target and become a force driven by results. Your focus shifts from winning small arguments to achieving large-scale goals. It brings us back to that central truth. Your personal progress is the only reply that actually matters. Stop wasting energy on pointless debates today. Make silence your sharpest weapon, ignore the noise, and commit fully to the work ahead of you. If this framework helped you reclaim your focus, like the video and subscribe for more breakdowns of high-level psychology. Share this with someone who needs to reclaim their energy. Thanks for watching.